Breaking news now, police in pursuit of burglary suspects. Let's go up to Desmond Shaw live in SkyCal with more. Desmond.
Yeah, Juan, this is pretty crazy. 3 people in the vehicle. This all started with LAPD's West Valley Division. Now, excuse the shot here as we are, of course, in LAX's airspace on the southbound 110, and hopefully we'll be exiting through that airspace on the other side of the 105. But so it started with CHP. We first heard about, wow, look at this, pretty crazy driving. Really crazy, zigging and zagging all over the place right now. However they can get around any of this traffic. It's been an extremely dangerous pursuit here. So we first heard about this in Sherman Oaks. By the time we could start the helicopter, this guy was already in Universal City. Now getting off the freeway at Florence, this is really going to complicate things for us here. So driving like a maniac, probably up to triple-digit speeds at one point. Look at this. Just trying to maintain the shot here for you. And then by the time we got to Universal, this person was already well into Hollywood and making their way into Koreatown. So it looks like they want to run this red light right here onto Florence underneath the freeway. They've been trying their best to lose LAPD's helicopter overhead. Now, this is going to be really difficult for us. Got to keep a wide shot and see if they try to turn around and come back out from underneath the freeway, which they've already done before. I see them right there. So look at that, making another U-turn under the freeway. There are no units on the ground in this one. They've just been tracking this one from the air because it got so dangerous. I'm going to keep it wide to see if they try to come back out. I think that's them right there. Yep, this is definitely them. Unfortunately, we're going to lose this shot here because we are in LAX's airspace, so we'll see what we can do, but really crazy one. That's the bottom line, Juan.
Rather erratically, we know you were saying there are 3 suspects, 3 burglary suspects inside that car, which only makes the adrenaline and the activity inside that car even more agitated. The 3, encouraging probably each other to try to get away from police. We saw some crazy driving on the freeway. Now they're on surface streets, and as you're saying, Desmond, even with this restriction there, with the LAX airspace, you're doing a great job there, keeping the car in the middle. Right now, where are they? On Florence? Still on Florence, Des?
Yeah, still on Florence, coming up to a busy intersection here at Vermont. So Florence and Vermont running through that red light. This is, look at that pedestrian right there, totally oblivious to what was going on. So we're looking at this from over a mile away because LAPD has their helicopters in the very sensitive LAX airspace. We cannot be overhead with them. A lot of restrictions, some of the toughest airspace in the country to have to deal with here with LAX. And we're getting into rush hour here. So Florence now coming up to Normandy, and it looks like they're probably going to blow through this light as well. I see other people running and zigging and zagging through that. Yep, and people walking out there again. So again, we're now stationary over the 110, watching this person speed away here into the distance, making their way towards Inglewood. Just so crazy. The driving, and not just, for everyone driving out here, but for all the pedestrians as well. We've already seen a couple of close calls with folks that are just trying to be out here, on foot, enjoying the day. Let's see if they're going to make a turn here. Just amazing. Blasting through these red lights, and I think they're continuing on Florence, and there they go behind these trees. I don't think we're going to be able to track this one anymore. Our best bet will be if they can come out of the LAX airspace, which, this could definitely be a ploy as well. There you see them again. You can still see a little bit of the crazy driving. We've already seen this person try to do whatever they can to avoid the helicopters by going onto the freeway and doing several U-turns. They may be privy to what's going on here with this airspace. These are burglary suspects. It's unclear, if they were smash and grab, if these were, professional burglars, so to speak. But the way that they're behaving to try to avoid the air traffic here certainly makes it seem like it's not their first rodeo, Juan.
Yeah, Desmond, and we often talk about the flight restriction in and around LAX. Can you give us an idea when you might be out of that area where we could possibly reconnect with the pursuit if it's still going on? Because right now it's heading westbound, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, they are headed westbound, so obviously this is going to go all the way to essentially to the ocean.
Right.
The eastbound boundary is Alameda Avenue. The southbound boundary is basically the 105, and northbound is USC. So those are kind of the parameters where anytime they're in any of that wide swath of area, makes it just super difficult to track them. So my pilot Dylan doing his best here is we're going kind of tracking westbound, but giving a lot of space to the helicopters here. They may have turned off of Florence Avenue, so we're going to have to try to reacquire this, see if LAPD will give us that information, but they're kind of on the edge of Inglewood right now. North of SoFi, I can see LAX's helicopter here, but we're going to have to try to reacquire the red Mercedes with 3 burglary suspects inside.
Yeah, and while you do that, Desmond, we're showing our viewers a replay of when the suspects got off the freeway and made that right turn on Florence, where you see them weaving in and out of traffic, narrowly missing cars, blowing through red lights, a very high speed, very intense pursuit. What we're showing our viewers there was just a few moments when you were showing us there, Des, when they went underneath the freeway, then did a quick U-turn, as you were saying, trying to get away from police, and then eventually continuing down Florence Avenue westbound. And as Desmond's showing us there on the left side of the screen, that's his live shot right there. It appears that we're still trying to reconnect with those pursuit suspects, just due to the fact that that they are in an area where we cannot get close with our helicopter due to flight restrictions. But as you see here, we're doing our best to do that. Desmond, what's going on down there? Can you see anything?
Juan, we heard that they may have actually bailed out of the vehicle somewhere down here. That's around Redondo. Yeah, Redondo and West. You can see the LAPD helicopter circling overhead. So somewhere in this area where they are suspected to have bailed out near this vacant lot right here. So if that was their plan to, try to get a lot of distance, they already had a ton of distance between all of the ground units. Again, LAPD was just looking at this from the air because it got so dangerous to pursue these maniacs from the ground. And so they tracked over here very near LAX, where even for LAPD's helicopters, it can be really, really difficult for them to get into this area to work around when you have all of these jets coming in on their final approach. So this is basically a Redondo and West Boulevard, right in this area, but I do not see the red Mercedes, but the 3V.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and if you're having a tough time finding them, Desmond, I'm assuming if they were only following them from the air, law enforcement is also having a very tough time. And my guess is the 3 split up, right? When they leave a car, if they're trying to get away from police, they're going to do their best and split up and try to get away as quickly as they can.
Quite possibly. We've seen it plenty of times before with other suspects. So, here we are. There's 2 LAPD helicopters right here. You're going to see them coming in and out of our shot. And, this is the flip side of when, LAPD, they're making the decision in the interest of public safety to not pursue on the ground when they're driving so crazy. They don't want them to slam into any innocent people. So they, back off from the ground. They follow from the air, but then the criminals can just have such an advantage at that point when there's no one behind them on the ground, when they can go places where they can, evade the helicopters and get out and potentially split up. So, here we are by just north of SoFi Stadium, about a half mile. Inglewood Park Cemetery is near where we had heard that they got out of the vehicle and ran. Unclear if they all ran together or if they all split up.
Desmond, do we know when the LAPD got a hit that these 3 or that this car was involved in a burglary?
Had no information on that yet, but I know we've been doing a lot of stories about how law enforcement is really trying to crack down on the burglaries, the smash and grab suspects, everything that we've kind of seen a rash of these in the last couple of years. So my guess is that this is related to one of those incidents in recent memory that we've been dealing with, but no specifics on that.
All right, Desmond, well, if you see any more activity there, please let us know, and we'll get the word out to our viewing public. Thank you so much for that, Des. Continue to follow that breaking news. Police arrested at least 1 burglary suspect after that pursuit we were just covering. Let's go back up to Desmond Shaw live in SkyCal with more. Des?
Yeah, Juan, it sounds like this did come to an end. There is some damage to the vehicle here. We weren't able to see this because LAX's helicopters were overhead, but you can see the Mercedes ended up actually on the Crenshaw line train tracks here, just north of SoFi Stadium, near Inglewood Park Cemetery. We had heard that there was a crash on 71st Street, somewhere right around this area. So the suspects got out and ran. At least one of them was caught. It's possible that one of the other 2 people inside the vehicle got out and ran just before the crash, and so it's unclear if it was the driver that was taken into custody or someone else. Another one ran into an apartment complex that may have gotten them in custody as well. Very chaotic ending here, and unfortunately, this is going to have an effect on the Crenshaw line's train tracks here in the middle of rush hour. This is going to be inoperative until they manage to get this vehicle towed out of the way. Juan, back to you now in the studio.
Yeah, hopefully that won't take too long. Desmond, thanks so much.